Rob and Slim Show.
Hello, is this Rob?
This is Rob, and Slim's on the other side.
What's going on, man?
This is Dan.
Oh wait, hold
Ken
on. We
should
got
be
the other
calling
call.
in
Give me
any second.
1 second. Here he is right now.
Yeah, we got it.
I hit add. Ken, you there?
Slim.
I definitely
Anybody?
hit the add the group.
Anybody here?
Hello?
Hi.
Dan.
Yes.
And Ken?
No, tell Ken to call again because I hit add the group and it didn't seem to fucking do anything because Skype sucks.
Oh, sorry, Dan.
Or
Sorry,
That's
Ken.
okay. I sent him the wrong number earlier, and then I just sent him the right number.
okay, hold on.
And,
Give me a second here. So merge call. Everyone see? I'm gonna hit this button here.
Did it work?
It's just like hung up. The
Can
fuck
you
is
call
that shit?
out?
Yeah, let me try. I'm gonna try
Those
calling
fucking
out.
Canadians.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
Shit, is there a way I can bring
Can
up
you
like the
see
recent calls?
what? Yeah, who is calling and
Trying to figure that shit out. right now. Hold
Skype
on.
is
Oh, there we
stupid.
go. So it was this one.
all right.
So that's him. Yeah, it's gotta be.
Don't know.
Who else would be calling you?
Right. Well, we have our, we have.
We have
people.
there's a group.
Oh shit! It fucking probably hung up on. Oh,
Maybe too, Dan. If
hold
from
on,
out of
I
country.
think we lost. Ken, you there?
Ken.
I am here.
I think we lost Dan though.
Oh no.
Well, maybe if Dan calls, since he's
God
not
damn.
from Canada, it will.
Well, they are. Are you guys both from Canada, Ken?
No, he's from Missouri.
Oh,
Kansas
okay.
City.
So hopefully when Dan calls, I'll be able to add him because for whatever
I
reason,
know sometimes
can't add
with
you.
Canadian callers, like certain phone plans, like they can't call, or they end up getting charged like a ridiculous amount for calling us sometimes.
Wow.
Well, that's for the peasants. I'm not a peasant.
Goddamn, Ken. But the movie Bigfoot is a documentary. I didn't know what it was till I started watching. I didn't know what to expect, but it's amazing. And you are a world champion taxidermist, correct?
Yes, sir.
How did you start that?
Well, I started being a taxidermist when I was a kid. I just kind of something I fell into, and it just evolved over the years. I discovered years later, I discovered taxidermy competitions, and it was kind of a cool world, and I wanted to see how I stacked up.
Yeah, it's amazing. Dan, do we have you also?
Hell yeah, I'm back on.
Awesome.
Cool guys. And how did you guys connect for this documentary? Like, which one of you guys reached out first?
Well, that'd be me. I started studying taxidermy and kind of became more interested in the weirdos that were practicing it, and thought there would be a good character-driven documentary there somewhere.
It
So
absolutely is.
I kind of had a
It
I had a
seems
list of people I was watching, and Ken was near the top of that list.
nice. It seems
He
like
was
there's
the
a
first
lot
one
of
I contacted.
eccentric people that do it.
Yeah. Ken, did he tell you he was looking for weirdos when he contacted you?
Oh no, I just take that for granted.
I almost felt like it was almost along the lines of Grizzly Man, but not as crazy. I don't know if you guys ever seen that doc from years ago, Grizzly Man, or
yeah,
even
yeah,
the Joe Exotic.
okay.
Like you didn't hit Joe Exotic territory, but you're there, Ken.
Yeah.
No, I swung the other way, as you probably saw from the movie.
Yeah, but so the documentary, besides you being a taxidermist who's made amazing things that have been displayed in the Smithsonian, is you are obsessed with Bigfoot, correct?
Well, it's one of my, it's probably my main hobby, but I just started collecting accounts over the years, and it's one of those things that it's the more you do it, the more you have to look at,
I want to believe so bad, but I just feel like, I don't know, with the technology, with the cell phones nowadays. We watched a video a few weeks of a guy who was almost mauled by a cougar and didn't stop recording. Like, I figure there would be some sort of an upload to TikTok or something nowadays.
Oh, there's a lot of videos. There's a lot of videos of Sasquatches, and some of them are pretty amazing, actually. But they just don't get the traction. People, there's an old saying is that I'll see it when I believe it, and a lot of people won't even look at them. There's one where it shows where you'll see a Sasquatch is filmed by a wildlife biologist walk up a mountain valley, then turn in wet snow and walk straight up the mountain without stopping. No human can do that. I hunt in the mountains, so I know this. And I show that to my friends that go in the mountains, and they just look at it and they said that's impossible what they're looking at. It covers the ground in 2 minutes and 43 seconds. That it would probably take me close to an hour, or anybody who's in good shape, through wet snow.
Wow.
Ken, what got you going after Bigfoot? Like, did you have an encounter early on?
Well, it turns out I did. I saw one years ago in a place called the Swan Hills, up in on the old Blue Ridge Hall Road. I thought it was a bear run across the road, and I realized it had to be a man because it was on two legs, and it ran up a hill without slowing down. And I didn't believe in Bigfoot at the time. I was younger, and I just assumed it was a man, but I'd never seen a bear run up a hill without slowing down. Nothing's that strong. And I've come to meet a number of other people who've seen them in the exact same place. There's a group of them in that area, and so I just kind of it never sat well with me. But years later, when I remember the sighting, I realized that it makes far more sense that it was a Sasquatch than it was a person. I just had hunters come up to me and say, "Man, I saw one of these things. I'm telling you." And it's like I tell everybody, if you haven't seen one and you don't believe they're out there, the most you can be is 99.9% sure they don't exist. But if you've seen one, anybody I talk to who had a good, clear look at one will tell me that 100% they do exist.
I saw, too, just in the documentary, it said that 3,313 sightings have been reported since 1921. So that's a lot of sightings.
Well, there's over 4,000 on the BFRO alone, and there's 500 sightings a year reported. And I've out of three dozen witnesses at least that I've talked to, I haven't yet to meet somebody who's reported a sighting. Just
with the math, yeah. Why do you feel like a lot of people are they're not coming forward with sightings? Do you feel like a lot of people are embarrassed to type of thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, and there's people that never go back in the woods again. Like enthusiasts who spend all their time in the woods suddenly never go back.
Wow. I don't like the woods anymore.
Well, apparently, like, especially if you see one of these things up close, it's not a nice experience. All of a sudden, you're looking at a 1,500-pound, 10-foot tall monster, and he's looking right through you, and you never go back in the woods.
Oh shit! The documentary though is great, guys. Has it been accepted very well in the world of documentaries?
Yeah, I think so. We were in quite a few festivals and had a bunch more planned before the pandemic hit, and then kind of went, tried to get the direct route onto, streaming video services. So you can find it now on, iTunes and Amazon and YouTube and Vimeo and all those, just about any place you can buy or rent movies.
Nice.
And it's, gotten almost all good reviews. I think we're still 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, I saw that.
I don't know, 13 views, I think, or 13 reviews.
Yeah, I saw it at 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, and Amazon Prime, and had a very good one, like 93% or something too.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Anybody, the biggest thing is getting somebody to decide to watch it. That's, I've talked to a lot of people, and then I still know quite a few people that I tell them to watch it. They haven't watched it, but when they do, they get in touch with me and say, "That was actually a good movie." It's like, well, what'd you think?
The coolest thing I thought that I found watching it was watching you, Ken, carve the styrofoam. It's just like you're making the inside of whatever you're making, and it's fantastic. But I wanted to ask too. I don't know. Styrofoam is something that bugs me out. Like, I don't like the sound of it being like, cut and all. Is that something you had to overcome, or does that not bother you?
Well, it doesn't bother me too much, but that stuff that I used for the Sasquatch is that white styrofoam, and it can be really messy, and it's staticky. It sticks to everything,
Oh.
But it basically, the medium was the only thing, because it was the only thing of the right size that I could find. I have used better better foams, but a lot of them they don't make anymore because of the the CFCs and the the OSHA and all of the rules for for the chemicals, like for the ozone and whatnot. So
yeah, I was wondering if that played into it. And what did they use before styrofoam?
Well, I used to use flotation billets. Dow Chemical used to make flotation billets for floating docks and things like that, and it was a type of urethane foam that works really, really good, and it's in 8-foot long billets that are like a foot and a half thick and then 2 feet wide. Those are great, but I just haven't been able to get those up here in Canada for a long time.
Yeah, and before that, we're using paper mache and clay and things that weren't quite as quick, to carve.
Wow.
Historically, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And what I was just fascinated too with the glass eyes. The guy you go to for the glass eyes, and he will paint like 3 or 4 different variations of an eye and different sizes for you. Like, that is cool too.
Yeah, Tony, he's really good, and at that Tohican Eye Company there. Yeah, no, it is really fascinating, and a lot of people just don't know a lot about the taxidermy world, and when you get a chance to glimpse into it, it really is extremely visual and extremely interesting.
What are some of these competitions too that they hold? Is there like one main one, or how does that work?
They have a lot of state competitions, and then you have a few main ones. Like the biggest ones in America are the Nationals, which is the National Taxidermist Association, and they have one convention a year as a rule. And then the World Taxidermy Championships, that is once every 2 years. And then each state usually has a taxidermy association, and they have a convention and a show every year. So you have your state shows, you have your nationals, and you have your worlds.
Do different states have different regulations on them?
They're pretty similar, but yeah, there is different regulations from state to state. They have their own boards, and they come up with, this and that. So, but it's pretty basic. You have the pretty same categories, and then you have your 3 levels: your novice, your professional, and your masters.
Are different animals harder to work with?
Oh yeah, yes.
What's the hardest one that you've had to deal with?
Well, they can be difficult for different reasons. If something is really big, you can lose control of it, like a rhino or a hippo or an elephant. And then if something is very small, like a mouse, or a shrew, you have that to deal with. But some animals, like anything from the rabbit family, like cottontails or snowshoe hares, their skin is like toilet paper. It's
really
wet,
thin.
And just rips, then there's other animals that, some animals just have very thin hair, so all your mistakes are glaring. Like an animal like an otter. An otter is almost like doing a fish. You have to work twice as hard to make them look half as good. So yeah, every job has its own challenges. And then some animals are just easy to work on. Raccoons, bears.
Ones with a lot of hair are easier. I think cats are hard because it's always hard to make them look good.
That's what I was going to ask too.
Cat I've tried looks terrible.
I was going to ask, what as a taxidermist, what is one of your major sources of income? Is it people coming to you wanting their pets, or hunters that have killed a certain animal that want them made?
Yeah, it's mostly I do museum work obviously, and also, but most of it is I would say wealthier hunters that collect life-size animals.
Okay.
So if they go to Africa, they'll come back with a lion, a leopard, and they'll spend $100,000, and then they'll bring back and want everything done life-size. I try to just do life-size mammals now. It's a better clientele, and it's better prices on the work. We have a lot of mountain lions harvested up here in Canada. A lot of bears. I get grizzly bears from up in the Yukon. I get a lot of black and brown bears from Alberta and Saskatchewan. There's an unbelievable amount of work. To put it into perspective, if I believe that just for the sales alone for deer heads in America is $100 million a year.
Wow. And is there anyone that's ever come to you, Ken, with an animal that's endangered that you've had to refuse to work on?
We are highly, highly regulated. No, anybody comes through the door with something that does not have documentation, they are out the door.
Wow.
Yeah, they have to. It has to be that way. You know, we get polar bears obviously up here in Canada. We do a lot. They harvest a lot of polar bears here. People don't know that. There's more polar bears now than there has ever been in history, and this is something that they don't tell you. I do marine mammals that aren't allowed in America, like I do life-size walruses, seals, and things like that. I think I was even working on seals and Bigfoot and polar bears. So, but everything has to have the proper documentation, or it does not cross my threshold.
And is it harder to work with an animal that has a skin like a seal? Like you said, it is harder, you know, but like a fish or something. Does the skin make a difference?
Yeah, the marine mammals are very tough, and this includes polar bears because of the amount of highly enriched oil that is in the actual leather. So the tanning process has a lot of challenges in order to get the skin to a workable state. So that is a big problem with those kind of animals. If you allow them to dry out, they never actually relax again because they become waterproof and they just become dry and hard and yellow. So and it's because of all of the oil, you know, the fat in the skin. Because you anything that lives up in the Arctic that doesn't have, you know, isn't saturated with fat is going to die.
Dan, I heard you say too you've done taxidermy, and I know Ken teaches it. Were you one of Ken's students at any points?
Well, I wasn't technically one of his students. I mean, I did learn a ton from him, and I always, you know, call him up when I have a question. But, you know,
cool.
Usually I'm kind of a one-man band there, and I'm, you know, doing sound and you know, framing and shooting and trying to keep one eye open on what's going on. So I'm usually pretty preoccupied when he's working, but a lot of times I'll, you know, go home and look at that footage and think, oh, that's how you do that, you know? Like little things, you know, like just how you tie off a needle, you know. He's done it thousands and thousands of times. So, you know, I learned an amazing amount from him, and I'd love to go up and just, you know, without my camera and work with him sometime. But, you know, someday, maybe post-pandemic.
Yeah. I love, too, the documentary not only covers all that other stuff, but it also covers your relationship, Ken, with your wife and your what was her name? Amy? The student?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
It showed, like, I was just watching the part where you were doing the Sasquatch with your wife, and she just looked... Your ex-wife, I guess. She just looked so unhappy. She did not even want to be there, Ken.
Oh no, that's true. We're divorced now, and she's. I hope she's happy where she's at because I'm sure happy where I'm at.
That's
good. But you know, no, that Dan caught a really bad period in my life. To be honest, I watch the show sometimes and I shudder. You know, I'm down about 30 pounds from what I was, and I'm in shape, and you know, I'm happier. I'm, you know, traveling the world. I've been working in Hungary. I've been working in China. I've been working everywhere, all around the world, traveling and living a life that I never thought I'd ever have again. So, and my ex-wife is happy, and the kids are happy. The kids are great. Everything worked out really good, and just in the last year, I started to actually speak to Amy again.
I was going to ask.
She's doing well.
That's good.
She just got divorced, and she's struggling with a few things, but she's doing good. She's doing very well. Her business is extremely successful, and yeah, we're back to friends again, which is what I wanted.
Very cool. Yeah, because it seemed like everything was going to work with her, but then at the end you said you got that call where she just was out at the last minute. Like, so I was hoping.
Well, yeah, there's a big long story to go with that, and it's best told on another.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't want you to divulge.
It wasn't good for about 5 years. It was really bad, actually. It was really bad, and it was really unfortunate. But things seem to be better now, a lot better for both of us.
Cool.
So Dan, what I'm getting from what Ken just said is that Ken is kind of unhappy with how he was portrayed in the documentary.
Damn you, man.
Ken, do you want Dan to do a sequel? Is that what we're talking about here?
Well,
there might be bigger fur. Keep an eye open for bigger fur.
Yes.
I think the best part of doing part 2 would be taking auditions, but
Or like apprentices.
So
Like I'd come on and I'd be like, teach me, Ken. Just you do all the styrofoam. I don't want to deal with the styrofoam.
Yeah. When it hits a streaming service, there's a good chance it could go viral. You never know because of what happened to that other crazy documentary. But
Yeah.
It would be nice if somebody, if there it ended up being enough interest generated that they commissioned Dan to do something else, because these independent productions. When I went to the Sundance Film Festival with Dan and I saw what he had to go through, and I see what all of the independent filmmakers have to go through. They don't make any money on these things. Basically, they bolster up their resume. So Bigfoot 2 would have to be commissioned, and it would have to be worthwhile to Dan, that's for sure.
Or like have a
Well,
bionic.
it's especially tough right now because everything's going straight to streaming. So everybody kind of has the same route, and there's a lot of content out there.
Or like cyborg shit, like maybe like a bear with a laser
I like
eye.
that. Yeah.
Or
Science fiction taxidermy.
One that breathes fire.
Yeah, that's cool shit.
Well, there is a really big there's kind of a big thing going on now on the dark web called Bigfoot erotica too. There's always that.
Oh,
Good.
that sounds good.
So what do you have to do? You taxidermy a Bigfoot fucking like a tiger or something?
A liger.
A liger?
Against its will, it would be an action piece. It would be.
I just love though, Dan, like and Ken, like in the movie when you created the Bigfoot, that they had what was the category in the competition? There was like
Recreations.
Yes. They have a whole category for creatures like that. Have there been any other creatures like Loch Ness Monster or anything like that made?
No, there was a lot of people. Like I've won that particular world title twice, and it's quite heavily competed in. It's very competitive, and I had 2 serious complaints against me bringing a Sasquatch. And I really, to be honest, I didn't really want to put it in there because I don't like causing controversy at Larry's show. So we just it was there for the movie. We made it for the movie, and we needed it there for reaction and feedback. And the art category was the only thing that it could. The interpretive art was the only thing we could really put it in.
Yes.
And actually give it a number. And really, like in the movie, it looks like I was disappointed that it couldn't be in recreations. But to be honest, I never wanted it in there in the first place because I didn't want to cause any controversy. It was there. It was there for the movie, and it was there for reaction. And it ended up being the darling of the media, and people lined up around the block to come and see it, and everybody paid $10. So I'm sure Larry was glad it was there.
I loved seeing like the little girl that wanted a picture with it. All the people that took selfies. It was so cool, so cool.
Oh, it was a sensation. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah. And what fur again did you use? Did you use alpaca fur?
Highland steer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It was a little long. Like if you look at the pictures of Patty in the Patterson footage, I actually had a woman come into the shop who saw a Sasquatch, almost hit it with her car, and she looked at my model and she says, "Man, that's exactly what they look like." She said, but the one she almost hit was 10 feet tall. It was a big male, and she said the hair wasn't as long in ratio to its body, and I knew that already from the but you never know how it's going to turn out until you put it together, right?
Yeah, and I want to. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to know, Ken. I've been dying to ask. Like, so obviously, like you have the shop and all your taxidermy work is in the shop. But I want to know about your like home. Like, if somebody walked into your house, is there just like taxidermy seals everywhere? Like, is it like, or is it just like a work thing for you?
Well, I have a few mounts in the house, but they can't be in direct sunlight because they'll fade.
Okay.
So there's a lot of light upstairs, but I have a den downstairs a lot of that was cut out of the movie. But I have a lot of things stored. I block up the windows in there. The tiger and the snow leopard are in there, but I'm because I got the house after the divorce, I still haven't set up the basement the way I want it. It's just so bloody expensive just to maintain everything right now. But no, like if I have a really nice house. If you go upstairs. It's really a comfortable place. I like it when I have visitors. It's the kind of place you can just lounge and have a few beers and listen to some music, sing some karaoke. It's a great place.
That's cool. Guys, we have to wrap it up, but it has been a blast talking to you both.
Oh, it's been
Well,
great.
thanks for having us. It was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. Where can everybody find you guys, and where can everybody find the movie?
The easiest way is go to bigfurmovie.com, and there's a Watch Now button there, and it'll take you to just about any place that you normally go to buy or rent a movie, iTunes, Amazon, that kind of thing. So it's pretty easy to find.
Awesome. Thank you both so much.
Oh, thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
No problem.
Have a good night.
When the interview goes up and the show and all, I will definitely send you all the links.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Have a good one, guys.
All right,
Thanks.
you too. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.